Can you hear us?
Hey everyone, it's Chimty Graham, and you're on the RCGroups podcast. What the heck? Let me tell you.
We're late because of you.
So here's what you don't want to do. By the way, Jason had just noted something I did earlier today that wasn't correct, and there was no audio. And I thought, hey, my audio box isn't working. Maybe I need to reset this plug. And as soon as my finger, it hadn't even hit the button, my brain was sending a telepathic signal back up my arm into my brain saying, your computer's connected to that switch. Click.
And you turned her off. Yeah, you must have a really long restart process for your computer.
I was sitting here watching it thinking, why does Chrome take so long to reopen? What must be happening in that box?
8 minutes is a long time when you're ready to start a podcast.
Chrome doesn't run well on Windows 3.1, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tan Starfield. What's up, Tim?
Yeah. Hello. What's up, guys?
Nice blue wall back there you got.
That's right. And you can't see the orange one on the other side. We got to have the colors in here. Come on.
Nice.
So we got Tim from ReadyMadeRC, our favorite FPV location in the nation, great state of Ohio. You guys are we're feeling the Ohio dream together. I know this, Tim.
Right.
We live so close to it yet so far.
Flying weather.
Did you know if you get your order into ReadyMadeRC before what time, Tim?
2:30
it ships
Eastern.
that same day. I know of one other company that used to do that. Jason Cole, what company was that?
That would be Hobby Lobby back in the day.
Back in the day, that's how we did it. But now that's how.
You guys are the Amazon Prime of
That's really true.
2 days. I get everything in 2 days from ReadyMadeRC, and apparently
because I know it's going to go out. You guys hear me? Sorry.
Yeah, we hear you good.
You look good too.
Of course I do. Yeah.
Where's some shades? Put on your Strix. There you go.
Yeah.
I'm swiping right on that.
Oh, I'm going to be back.
All right. Well,
Keep talking.
Right.
hey, that camera angle's too wide. No.
Oh my God.
No, you know what? That's what. If I'm buying from someplace, I want to know that it's going to ship, and I think
That's right.
Yeah.
Did we lose Jim?
Well, he just walked away. He's getting some.
All right, good. I'm glad. All right. Oh, whoa, those are
Very you too. Now I have strict sunglasses, but I gave them to my daughter.
I don't know what you're trying to say.
What is?
I bought these for Joe Nall. Yeah, I took my daughter's glasses. I thought this at Joe Nall.
You look like Lenny Kravitz.
I thought these with this hat would kind of put me in a U2 era, kind of a 70s Willie Nelson thing.
No, it's Lenny Kravitz.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy moly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, banter.
So, Tim, I know your cruise at the Flight Fest, or should I call it the Fight Fest, since I'm getting the names of every company wrong today. I hear it's raining over there, or rained.
It is a mess. It might be competing with the CFL Mud Fest from a couple years ago for anyone who's seen the mess that was with mud and rain and trench foot and whatever else you might get from that. But there's a lot of people there, though. The guys are having a good time, but it's a muddy mess right now.
Now, let me ask you, can we take that link I sent you and forward it to somebody there and maybe get them to link to us from their phone? And
I'm going to try. They actually were so busy that they were like, oh, no, I don't know. We can't do that. But let me
Kevin will do it. He likes us.
And see if I can get one of these guys to break away from
we need Mr. Noise or Alex or Alec or Kevin or the whole lot of them. Send them all.
Matt, do you have any sunglasses nearby?
I've got some Strix around here somewhere.
Jason, do you have some sunglasses?
No, look what I got. Hold on.
I do somewhere.
Yeah, go get them. We need sunglasses on this one, I think.
Oh, like no, they're in my car outside.
We can get them Uber.
All right, we got a message up here. Let me hit those guys direct so they see it.
All right, what do you guys think? I've got my my pilots on.
Wait, who? Yeah. Those are called pilots?
Those are pilots. Yeah, these are for flying.
Is this the guy that goes to all the shows? You know that?
Like this guy right here?
Well, he sells those glasses at every RCM.
Yeah, that's the guy that goes to all the shows. I I made the front page of his website after I did a review. I did a review on these goggles under a different company's name like 9 years ago, and I ended up on their homepage. I was like front and center wearing. I looked so cool.
I bought the cataract version. I as a kid. Now that I'm older, I feel bad that I said this, but I called them cataract victims, where they were the big giant. I had those.
Those I just got dilated, and I'm now I can't drive a car for 6 months.
Every time I put them on, my wife is like, "Take those off," so I don't wear them. Tell us about the Strix sunglasses. I see pilots actually flying in them, so I guess they're high quality UV protected type of devices, right?
Oh yeah, they got all the good stuff, and they just look awesome. I mean, that's really why you want to wear them. Matt, I don't see you wearing your glasses, man. Come on.
You know, they're upstairs in my son's bedroom. He assimilated.
Oh wait, no. Sorry, I said Matt. Jason.
Oh yeah, Jason.
They're in my car.
You only have one pair of sunglasses.
I did get a set of Strix at Toledo show, but they're in my car downstairs.
Yeah. No. So we, they're giveaways. They are good glasses, but we got a big pile of them up at Flight Fest. So if you guys are up there, we'll hook you up.
Man, listen, I just had an idea. Why don't we have a Strix sunglasses contest? We start a thread. You have to take a picture of yourself wearing the Strix sunglasses and maybe doing something, and then the winner wins something.
That sounds awesome.
Oh, now we're putting Tim on the spot. He's got to give away something.
No.
I'm on the hook. Now I got to give something away.
I didn't even think of that.
We'll discuss about this, but I think you're in, dude.
Plus, having contests before a jury.
No,
I don't know if we
totally
can make that happen so quick, but if we can, I'm in. Hey, sometimes it shows people say, Jim, I like it when you share a story that's not RC related because I always apologize. So I'm going to share a story that maybe no one here will believe.
Can you take your glasses off first? It reminds me of my grandmother's glasses.
Well, this story involves my eyes. I'm gonna tell something very personal about myself that most people are not going to believe, but it is 100% true. I can see UAV. I can see ultraviolet light.
Oh yeah, I've heard this. Yep.
So Tim, really? have I told you the story at the Toledo bar? No.
What?
That I can see ultraviolet light. Have I told you the story?
I haven't heard that story. No.
Okay, so I have
sounds a little crazy actually.
I have a great eye doctor, and my grandpa had cataracts. And so I'm pretty young to have cataracts, and I didn't have terrible cataracts. But he said, we can do it now, we can do it later, and so I ended up having cataract surgery, which is why I mentioned this quite a bit when I use goggles. I have 20/25 vision in the right eye, and then I had my other eye so I can see iPhones without corrective lenses. So one eye see far and one eye sees near, right? Well, they put in, I'll make this really fast. They put in one lens, and then 2 weeks later, they put in the other one. So I'm walking around A-B in my eyes, because that's how I am. And I A-B'd a sunset, and the sky was gray. And when I put up my other hand, the sky was purple. And I was like, what the heck is going on here? So then it rained the next day. I look out the front window, and I can see violet light popping off the pavement.
Really?
And that's when it hit me. I can see it.
This is still happening right now.
Yeah. So, and I'll tell you why I know it's still happening. I did research that when they put things in your body, they give you cards to tell you what they've embedded in your body. And so I got on the internet, and this guy says, I can see ultraviolet light. You can look it up right now on Google. He did like 9,000 tests. And then he's talked about what lenses they put in his eyeballs. And that's exactly what they put in my eyeballs. Mm-hmm. And so when I wear glasses like this, I can't see ultraviolet light, but I will take the sunglasses off, and the whole sky will go whammo purple.
Crazy.
Well, please tell me that you have other sunglasses that you can achieve this with besides those, right?
No, these are all I wear now. I'm going on tour with you too, so I have to wear
Paris Hilton's.
Okay, so we have Tim on from ReadyMadeRC, the premier FPV and other things. You guys sell winged craft and multi-rotors, but what should we be talking about today, Brother Tim?
Well, I think the Goblin is something good to talk about now that it's available. I think you guys, Matt might have one sitting around there. I do see
there was a review on RCGroups where I could read about it.
Let me grab this thing.
There just might be someone just recently posted a video.
This isn't just a Goblin. Wait until you see what he has done to the Goblin. Now,
what do you mean?
Here's what a normal Goblin looks like.
Oh, wrong plane, Jim.
Oh yeah, he did that to another plane.
Yeah. So Yeah, I'll show you the other plane in a minute. This is like this is ReadyMadeRC day today.
Oh, was
so
it? He did it. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
No, it's all good. It's all good. So here's the Gob, and it is. I love this thing, man. So I've got the Singularity embedded right here. This is probably my favorite thing that I've done with this plane.
Freaking awesome.
I want to go
Singularity
1.3.
right, so you can see the Dragon Link antenna sticking out the top and bottom there. I've also got the aftermarket, which this has actually caused a little bit of a stink. People are like, why did he review this with the aftermarket not yet available Elevons? And the fact is that they said, hey, do you want to test these? And I said, absolutely. So I cut them off, put them on. It does have a great roll rate. It does change the reflex when you set the reflex, and that's it. It's just
it looks cool.
Still an awesome bird with or without it.
Jim T said it, but I just want to put this out there. Don't go 1.3. Anybody else out there? It's terrible. So much interference. This is part of my 1.3 smear campaign, so it keeps the channels free for everybody.
We've only got 2 legal channels to play with, right? And so yeah, it's
terrible.
It's either 58 or 80, and that's it. So
that is the problem. If I did go 1.3, none of us would be able to fly together. So
well,
hey, Jim, real quick, the link that you sent us to join, is that specific to my email address, or should it be open?
No, I used it to get in. It worked for me.
Phones, they just got a message saying we're sorry you don't have access to this page.
What if you give me their email address? Can you send me an email with an email address, and then I'll send it directly? I can invite them via their email address.
Give that a shot. All right.
Or maybe do you have an invite option at the top of your window here? You mouse over the very top, and it's a person with a plus sign.
Nope. Doesn't look like I have access to that one.
Okay.
Matt Angler says, I've been reading really bad stuff about 1.3.
Yeah.
He's in our boat. He's in our boat. He's trying to keep that as clear as possible. That's my favorite.
Yeah, I was kidding, everybody. I use 1.3 on a lot of stuff, and I love it, and it works great. But I'm just trying to keep it not as popular as 5.8, so I don't have to.
A lot of these events now, it's so easy to get out and fly if you're on 1.3 or even 900, especially with the antennas.
Oh yeah, 900. It's just wide open. So hey Tim, I don't know if you saw this. You see this chunk taken out of the wing here?
What'd you hit?
I hit a telephone pole. Yeah. At like 55 miles an hour, which by the way is below cruise speed with this thing. So 55 miles an hour, I hit the line, hit the wire right here, and it spun like a boomerang into the ground. And the only thing that happened was this little dent, which I covered over with packing tape and then cut a hole in it and injected it with hot glue. So
that's sweet. It can handle it.
Did that make it in your video, Matt Gunn?
No, but I do have the footage of me hitting it. And boo, it was kind of scary. It wasn't actually scary. It was just like stupidity on my part. Oh, hey, there we are.
There's Matt Gunn. He's going to throw this thing in the air.
It looks like I have a chaw in my mouth.
Oh, yeah, I'm just going to throw this thing up there.
Wow.
Woo!
So if there's anything I can tell you, I say this over and over again. If there's anything I can say about launching these high-power airplanes with very short wingspan is do not go full throttle. I see it all the time. People go full throttle. It rolls twice before it explodes on the ground. So you got to launch at 3/4 throttle max, and just that's all it takes is to get these birds airborne is a good throw and a little over half throttle.
Yeah, and it'll go. It'll 3/4 throttle on this one, and just a good chuck, and it's going.
Yep. So I was doing 8 amps. Yeah, I was doing 8 amps a minute ago and doing 70 miles an hour. Look at that, 10 amps.
That's crazy.
At 75, and then I turn around right here, and I go full throttle with it, and we're doing about 30. It peaked at 36, I think, and the average amperage is about 29 to 30 for this plane, and well over 100 miles an hour. See, there's 37, 34, and then we are at 107 miles an hour.
So the best compliment I've seen on the YouTube channel is they called your flying in this video very technical.
That's
precise. Yeah, good job.
I get that every once in a while. I'm not sure why. I'm just kind of hanging on for dear life. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just pretend like I know what I'm doing. I'm just like, okay, there's some trees, and I'll shoot between those, and I made it.
Yeah. I think.
Oh,
yeah. Good job. Good job.
So she's a hot rod. I recommend it.
I was driving back from your neck of the woods, Matt, back home, and driving down 71, and I'm thinking, I bet on a single battery that plane might actually make this whole trip, and I wonder if we could just follow one on the highway. I'm like, well, maybe not.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
if you pass that point of no return and you just keep going, you do all you can do with a pack. Yeah, you could easily cover 50 miles. What do you say?
Right. Easily. Well, I think easily. I mean, I figure what at 50, 60 mile an hour, you're probably cruising 3 or 4 amps if you actually back off on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I bet the right size battery in there, you might be able to pull off the 100 plus miles.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Could you imagine if you got in a traffic jam and then you got to just loiter above you? And you're like, screw it, I'm landing on the highway, and next thing you know, News Channel 5 is there, and they're like,
that is not the coverage we want.
That is not the coverage.
Not to bring up Hobby Lobby again, but the founder of Hobby Lobby told me a story about where they got in a convertible and they flew 60 miles an hour down Highway 65 with an RC plane. Mm-hmm. And they flew it out of the convertible down the highway. And he said when they pulled up next to a Greyhound bus and it was like right next to the driver's window, he said the driver looked over and he thought there was going to be a wreck. He thought the driver thought it was a full-scale plane right next to the bus.
Nice.
Man, those buses, they put off a lot of air coming off the side of them. I know that for a fact. And I can only imagine how fun that was, piloting that little RC plane down low near a bus.
While we're here and the vibe is high, I want you to show off the craziest thing that I've seen in a while.
Yeah. Matt, real quick, what was your flight time on the Goblin? They're asking in the chat.
Varying throttle with lots of full speed passes, about 12 minutes on a 4S 3300.
Now,
we've had guys say that they were on the same battery that they were getting with a Drac Mini. They were going about 10 miles on that. I got about 20 miles on the Goblin.
Miles or minutes?
Miles.
20 miles. Wow, that's a great lake.
And if you milk it, I mean that's the thing. It's it's how you're flying. Of course, it's more fun to fly fast, right?
Mm-hmm. Of course. So minutes. I think they were asking minutes. Is that right, Jason?
He was saying flight time. Yeah.
Yeah. About 10 to 12 minutes. If you really if you're doing a distance run, then you could. Oh God, you can stay up for 30 minutes easy with that plane.
Yeah, just
if not longer.
Cruising at such low amps.
It's so slippery. It is literally I've flown a lot of wings. I've flown a lot of stuff, man. I've seen a lot of things, and that was my Simpsons quote, by the way. But it's by far the slipperiest, most aerodynamic plane in FPV that I've ever flown. So here you go. You guys ready?
This is not the slipperiest.
No, this is by far not the slipperiest. So this is my flying moth, if you will. No.
Mothman.
Okay, so here's what this is for all you guys that might be curious. This is a Connex HD system, and I am using Alex IB Crazy's patch antenna set up on the ground. So this is this guy right here, and look at the 6 or 5 small crosshair antennas that are all inside of here. He makes 2 different kinds. He makes a linear version for long range runs, and he makes a circular polarized version. This one's the circular polarized, so he recommends, because the Connex has a pair of antennas on it, that you use 2 circular polarized antennas. Now I'm going to get some Pagoda antennas to go in here, which are much smaller form factor, but for right now I'm using what he sent me, and it's these Mad Mushrooms. And that's why it looks like this. But this is full 720, 30, and 60 frame a second flying, and the
rubber cover on that comes off, and it looks very similar to a normal CCD cam. So you could stuff it. I don't know if you ever cut that nose open before, but you could stuff that camera.
It is cut open. That's why I put this on here, because I had the camera sticking through here. So yeah.
Well, if you want to do that, you can still do that with that system.
Yep. So I'm going to be reviewing this, and so far it's a winner. Jason told me that Jason, you fly the Connex, and you told me that once I go Connex, I'm not going to want to go back to analog. And I agree with you. After flying this plane, getting up and just pulling back and observing everything that's out there, it's the most beautiful thing. Everything is crystal clear. The colors, the rich graduation between sun and darkness is just superb. And so I'm sold on Connex. But there are some problems with it, and I'll keep it short. The problems is that this lead right here is only 6 inches long, 5 inches long. It's awful. You got to keep everything very short. And then there's no integration with my favorite OSD and flight controller of all time, the Eagle Tree Vector. They won't do it. It's only Pixhawk or APM or nothing. And
you can at least get battery voltage on the camera OSD because you can supply direct battery voltage. It's got a pretty wide range. So
you're right.
That's kind of nice. At least you get your battery voltage.
So if you look in here, I've got Eagle Tree Vector still in there, and I'm using it without OSD. So if I get into any trouble, I can just hit return to home and start initiating return. Otherwise, I'm sold. This is incredible flying right here. So stay tuned for a full review on this thing, on how it works with. This is designed for multi-rotors. Everyone knows it. They made it for multi-rotors. It's designed for it. They're trying to pitch it for fixed wing, and it's a little difficult to integrate into fixed wing, but if you do, then expect a view like you've never seen before.
Matt, tell everyone about the little hole that is on the other side of you and why you drilled it in the side of the fuse there. The other side. Yeah.
Oh, right here?
Yeah.
Oh, that's just to access the USB for plugging into the Vector. I have the same thing on the Goblin here.
No one likes the word Goblin but me.
Goblin?
I like Goblin.
It's my gubernatorial race. This is the same exact hole there. I just cover it over with a piece of tape when I'm flying. Yes. It allows you to get in there and do lots of fiddling around with the Vector.
You know what the Goblin really needs is a built-in whistle. you cut a slot, you drop the whistle in, and then when you reach speeds over 60, it just whistles. Wow!
It's funny you say that. We actually had pulled whistle out of, I think it was one of those little Nerf things. We were trying to figure out how well it would work on one of these planes, and we didn't try it on something as fast as the Goblin. I bet it would work. We couldn't use fuselage.
I've never made one work before. Do not understand why a whistle wouldn't work on an airplane. It makes no sense.
I think people put those dog whistles on them. But is that what you're saying? That you put those little dog whistles that you used to get?
Well, there was some Nerf dart or something that has a whistle that when you shoot it, it just makes a whistling sound when you shoot it through the air. You can hear it.
Yeah.
And we ripped it out of the Nerf dart and put it in a plane. And maybe when we were going fast, you could hear it a little bit, but not too much. Jim, I think that's going to be our next product, though.
Ah,
we're gonna do that just for you.
Kevin was like, if you have any ideas, let me know. So I guess that's my idea.
As crazy as they might be, we'll take it.
Right.
Why is this like a deja vu for me? Didn't we discuss something like this last time?
Maybe every time.
Am I losing it? Oh my God, I'm totally losing it. Last time Tim was on, we were discussing ideas.
Speaking of awesomeness, here's some awesomeness. It's the new Strix hangar.
I have that charger. That thing is beef.
You know what I love? I'm scrolling the wrong image here. I love that. I'm going to full screen this image here. I love that this charger runs off a LiPo. That's awesome.
Right. Yep. So the charger's been available for a while. The 1S charger, we have the HV version and the regular version, but the hanger is new. And the charger, for all the people that bought the charger already, you just a couple screws out, get the hanger and just plop it down in there. You can charge your batteries right in there, and it stores the there's the charger by itself. Yep. But yeah, it stores your little Inductrix or similar size little tiny whoop style quad and a bunch of batteries, and carry it along. It's summertime, and people aren't flying those quite as much, but we're still seeing a lot of it. And get ready for winter. These things are going to be become big again when the weather gets bad.
Oh yeah. No, that's actually that's ABS plastic, that's regular made plastic and not 3D printed, right?
Right. Yeah. These are molded, nice tight fit. So of course, since they're molded, we made a bunch of them. So it helps us get a good price on them for everyone. Comes with the foam that you can put in. So yeah, that kind of holds things in place. It comes with the foam separate. You can stick it in there if you've got enough room. Some people have customized their quads, so we decided to not attach it in case you needed the extra room or needed to cut it up a little bit.
Looks good. I saw this, Jim did the article on it, and I was like, OMG, I like it.
One thing, the thing I really like about it is we all went to Oregon. We all went to Oshkosh, and we brought all our whoops, and I brought a couple in boxes, and when I got home, I had 8 batteries when I left. I got home with 0 batteries.
Right. You know, the batteries, and then your antennas get all smashed, and these things wind up getting, tossed around. This holds everything nice. And, you can see in the picture there that there's little slots to stick the batteries around the quad. And you can even stick them in the charger if you want to. Although, yeah, I mean, there's plenty of places to stash stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
great accessory, and a lot of people have that charger already, so it's a quick upgrade. And if you get get both of them separately, it's what is it? It's $20, I believe.
It's $14.99 for the box, and then $18 for the charger.
Right. Sorry, yeah. The charger, we were able to drop the price a little bit. It's down to $15 now for the charger.
That's nothing. That's 2 clicks.
Right. And we'll ship it fast. A little late today, but it'll go out tomorrow if you buy it. Buy now.
So, let's look at real quick. I saw a craft that I like, the Valorum Ready to Fly. Can you pull that one up? Just maybe Google Valorum, Jim, or one of you guys.
On the site there, yeah.
Yeah, just Google Valorum. Valorem. Pretty sure. I like this quad a lot, so I'm gonna have to talk to you guys about it at some point. But it's a ready-to-fly Valorum, and I think Mr. Noise Ryan was just destroying this thing and making it look awesome in flight.
So, so we have we did build a plug and play on there. We have the Valorum kits. The big advantage of the Valorum by itself is price, right? Mm-hmm. It's a really good kit, but the price is unbeatable. We kind of looked at, what are people, were they doing with the ZMRs and stuff here in the past? And, it was a good low cost. Make one under the ReadyMade brand for the racing, in a newer style. And
I've got it. I'm going to pull it up.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see if I share my.
I'll pull it up right here. I'm going to do screen share right now. Here we are.
All right. But so, you get all the nice features, has removable, replaceable arms, but the price, you can't beat the price. And people are still abusing this thing. It's strong. It's got a good layout. The camera mount that we have for the Hellbender fits it, so you get a nice camera mount option upgrade if you want to do that. The Team Pilot mount. And we're going to have some other arm options available here soon for the Stretch X and other things. And and it gets you in cheap. You're not all worried now. Oh man, I'm putting all this money into this frame.
That's what I was thinking.
Some of these frames, and they're just some carbon fiber. Yeah, of course it costs money to get them made, but let's we wanted to give something that people don't feel like they're breaking the bank on.
So for $400, you get the Cricket 200 milliwatt with it. You get a power distribution board. You get a Dodo. You get 4 30 amp SpeedX ESCs, the RunCam Mini Swift, a Pagoda antenna, rifle motors on there, the frame, props. Dude, this thing is
one of the guys here, Alec built this, and basically all the stuff we thought would be good for a high performance starter. If you're getting into racing or you've been in racing and you just don't want to bother taking out the entire building sometimes, soldering all the time. So yeah, you just go with this. It's pre-built and tested. If you choose, you want to do, doesn't look like he did that. Well, we were talking about also just setting it up if you want to do FR Sky or Spectrum. I'll talk to these guys. We might want to add some options so we can go ahead and have it already plugged in with a receiver and ready to go.
Right.
So this is just something that, like I said, Alec, one of the guys here, did as a side project. We figured if folks want to get one already assembled, then there you go. Those rifle motors are incredible, by the way. I'm just going to brag those up a little bit too.
I think Kevin
you guys haven't tried it. Yeah, we spent a lot of time with them getting these made with all the specific features and specifications that we wanted. And you're not going to find a motor the same otherwise. These are not just a name slapped on a motor. These were built specific to our specifications. And they perform great, and they're strong too. You know, people are like, well, it has an open bottom on it. You know, well, all the forces are held in other areas, so you know it's unnecessary weight to have the bottom of the can on there.
Well, there you go. It proves that
Yeah,
ReadyMadeRC is not just reselling; they're actually innovating and designing products. So
Yeah.
that's
Oh
killer.
yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, the
Tim-
Valorum frame by itself is $16, by the way. So you know you can't go wrong with that.
Wow, that's crazy price.
So Tim, we've had some time go by since a year ago, you know, where everybody was multi-rotor crazy, and you know, our crew has really kind of moved over to wings. I don't know the last time we were. So how are you finding it through the site? Are you finding a lot more winged purchases? Are people migrating to winged FPV, or?
We see both. You know, we have seen a lot of the multi-rotor folks want to try out wings, you know, of some sort. Of course, they see the fast stuff like the Goblin and the Elatis, and they want to jump right in. And a lot of them haven't had any fixed wing experience. But, you know, we think jumping to a Stratus Surfer or something like that is probably a good first step. But, yeah, you know, the multi-rotor stuff is going strong. We're not seeing any drop in that, but definitely our wing sales are doing well. And we focused a lot of our own energy on making sure we're keeping that market strong for us. You know, it's a little bit more of a investment for us. You know, it takes a lot longer. You know, the molds and stuff that have to be made for the planes compared to, you know, some carbon fiber for quads. The big difference there. But we've got some really great designs and some more upcoming. You guys always get excited, but we've got some pretty cool stuff. I don't know if you guys have got any sneak peeks of any of that yet, but they might have one up at Flight Fest, one of the newer ones. But
I think I saw one of the new ones at Jonal.
You might have, yeah, they might have had a prototype down there, early prototype. We have some molded prototypes now of one of them. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll be there tomorrow at Flight Fest, and I'm going straight to the ReadyMadeRC booth, and I'm going to literally steal whatever is there under wraps and just go throw it and fly it.
Hey, I love your Matt came up with the term Goblin gaggle, so I can't wait to see that.
We're gonna do a Goblin gaggle tomorrow.
Goblin gaggle, yeah. Oh yeah.
That you know where that comes from, right? That's Mark Murdoch at Pecan Patch and his wing gaggles. I stole that from him, so all I did was just add the word goblin to it.
We've been using the name too, so yeah.
I'm pretty sure that he's got gaggle. I invented mass hover.
So that's your term? That's your term from ProBro?
Yeah. That's like an ancient term. I invented that. One thing about the hobby is you can invent stuff, but no one will remember it. So just
it's now for all posterity on the podcast.
Yes.
Hey Tim, we got a user question here. It says, "Are you guys going to be at the NAFPV event next weekend?"
Yes, we are. I'm not going to be able to make it to that one either, unfortunately. But yeah, we got 3 guys going up. Let's see, Alex, Peter, and Ernie are going to be up there, and they all are. You know, again, that's more of a fixed wing show than anything else. They're still doing some quad racing up there too, I believe. But you know, that's a good fun one. Oh, we've got tons of events. Seems like they're non-stop this year. Let me see see what we got on our sheet here. It's going to be the race in Muncie. Here in August, the Multi-GP International Open, which it's only a few hours away from us. We're going to be there.
Yeah.
And I have to say, you know, we just opened up the listing on our site here a few days ago. Going to be releasing a video and everything for it here in the next week, maybe. FPV Fest in Willard, Ohio is coming up.
One of my favorite places.
Matt,
we're going to have
be there, right?
Oh yeah, we'll have the airspace. We'll have the airspace open to 30,000 feet again.
Goblin gaggle.
We will do a Goblin gaggle, yes, and we will credit Mark.
Is that the new hot treat?
Yeah.
Gaggle.
Get your Goblin gaggles. 2 for 4, 12 for 9.
Goblin gaggle.
I'll be there. Yes, I'll be there, Tim.
Yeah, that's September 7th through the 10th, the weekend after Labor Day. And for anyone who doesn't know, that's at the Willard Airport, a big, 4,000-foot paved runway. We get shut down for the weekend and take it over. It's a blast. You know, for planes and landing gear, you can actually land on a real runway and take off, which is just awesome. And, you know, multi-rotor races. We got some, and, you know, fixed wing races. We got some cool ideas for some contests and games, some stuff that's new that we haven't seen before. So we're just going to have some fun. That's where we keep it small. We limit the pilots to 75.
Mm-hmm.
At Flight Fest is a blast, but it's insane the number of people that are there.
No, you got to wear a helmet.
Yeah, and that's great, and I love it. But we like to keep it a group of people that everyone can get and hang out and fly, and just spend time with each other. And since we're focused on FPV, having hundreds of people trying to fly FPV is just a nightmare. So
yes,
and you can come and view, and we donate the proceeds to a local charity up there, Willard Hope Center. So it's a youth center up there. So if you come and fly, you're not you're lining their pockets where so they can help out those kids. We're not making anything on this. So yeah, it's a good time. So check it out. It's on our site, FPV Fest. Like I said, we just put it on the site, so there's plenty of spots left right now. But they usually go pretty quick, and especially as you get down to the week or a couple weeks before the event, they go away fast. So.
Mm-hmm.
We've all said it 100 times, but when they do invent the frequency hopping FPV video transmitter, it will blow the hobby up. It'll just.
Well, I think that the Pro site is about as close to that as we have right now. It
but it's. I guess you're right. Okay, so they haven't. That is true. That it does frequency hop. I was thinking. I think when we all talk about that, we were thinking more of the little cricket analog thing. On.
Yep.
And even on 1.2, it would be nice to frequency hop around. But I just thought about that too. Oh yeah, the Connex does that.
I'd pay $100. What would it cost to be Connex based?
What is it? $299 for the Connex?
That's a steep technical challenge.
Pretty high right now because it's it's the latest, newest technology. So it's going to come down as we advance and they come out with cheaper ways to do that. So
and getting your OSD on it, you got to have that, be able to put whatever OSD you want.
Yeah, I've thought the same thing. I've thought the exact same thing. I don't really want to be limited on that. I use the Vector as well when I'm running on fixed wing, and I would feel lost without having that information available when I want to look at it. I mean, sure, you can use the Vector for return to home for safety and everything else,
but you don't know.
I'm pretty sure I heard John say that he was getting in touch with the guys at Connex and was working on something.
So I talked with John about it, and he did. I think he said that this was not anything secret, honestly, but he was talking to them, and they had a communication together, and then the communication stopped from Connex.
Bummer.
So I wrote Connex, and I said, hey guys, I need that integration, man. With so I let them know that the people want integration with the most popular flight controller in the hobby industry, the Eagle Tree Vector. So
I agree. I totally agree. We're going to keep pinging them on it too, since I know you're talking to them.
Good. Keep it up. Let's hit them. Let's attack them on multiple fronts, and then next year we'll have this happen. And oh my gosh, I'll be so happy.
It would be awesome for the hobby. I mean, talk about a game changer. It would be
because with Alex IB Crazy's Genesis linear and circular polarized antennas here, you've got serious. This is it in the box, by the way, the linear version of it. You got some serious distance and penetration behind objects that you usually don't see with the HD stuff, right?
Yep. So you got the good HD signal, and it's not you're not getting a bunch of static as you're flying around too.
That's correct. Yeah. So you can get down low. You can shoot gates. You can go sort of within reason behind trees, like if you were out there and doing stuff like that, and it's no instant cutout. So that's good to know. I hope they take it.
But it's a technical challenge, even standard definition, to not have latency and do it digitally over the air like that to get the frequency hopping. But they've managed to do it with the Pro site, and I mean, I do think as time goes on, the technology keeps advancing, and it's just going to get cheaper.
Yeah. And I heard somebody.
Smaller.
Yeah, right. And it's already getting pretty small. These things are, it's the size of a credit card and just about as thin. But I heard on the forum someone liken the Connex Pro site to the days when we just went from analog servo-driven gimbals to brushless gimbals. They were the original brushless gimbals were still not that good, but the technology was there. That's kind of what's happening now, I think, with the digital stuff. So yeah, give it a year, it'll be 10 times better.
Tim, I wanted to touch on, we were talking about multi-rotor versus winged, and the multi-rotor fickleness. One thing's hot, then it's not. But with the Stratus Surfer, talk about a great base airplane that's been around forever, you know, in some form or another. And then you guys have taken it and perfected it for FPV flight. And this is the kind of an airplane that you can start out with. And then after you really learn how to kill with it, as in fly well, then it takes you beyond that as well, because it's a great, you could do whatever you want with the Stratus Surfer. So what I'm saying is a design that's not going to be gone in 6 months. It's a design that can live for the next 4 or 5 years before something changes.
Yeah, we had to design it, you know, and this thing was designed with you know, a few of us here that, yeah, we had all these ideas and features wished every other plane would have, and we made sure it was there. So big control surfaces, you know, large wing chord. But the big control surfaces make it so you can do aerobatics with it. You know, it's not just a trainer. You can really start cranking on that thing, and it'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes where you want it to. So yeah,
with the flaps,
when I say it's a good one to start on, yeah.
I'm sorry. With the flaps, you can actually coordinate that with your ailerons to get much harder, bigger throws, you know, and put Elevon or whatever you want on it. There's a lot of options.
Yeah. And it's durable, can handle impacts.
Can I use a micro servo as a flap servo, or should I move up to a slightly larger?
You use the 9 grams, little tiny ones.
Yeah, I was just just a standard 9 gram. I mean, whatever is considered micro anymore. So 9 gram servos are, you know, the Emax servos are good. You can get the metal geared one for what, $5, so $5 or $6. So those work fine. We have a flap kit. I think we may have run out of the flap kits, but there's going to be some more on the way to us that come with all the hardware and a servo and everything you need. But, you know, yeah, you can build your own. Just any 9 gram servo will work. It's not like unless you're, you know, you can go fast, but, you know, you're not going to be really shoving on that servo too hard.
Hey, this just it, guys. You know, I just looked over at my email. I answer a lot of emails from a lot of people. I talk to people at midnight. I talk to people when I wake up, and I get a lot of different requests. And here's a request I just want to share. This user wants to change his username. Now, Jason and I get that all day long. I just want to share with you what his username is now. Dipweed.
It's probably a good idea to change it.
So he's basically, he realized that Dipweed isn't very good. He needs to do that job interview, so to speak.
He doesn't want Dipweed. So I just now clicked to see what he wants. He wants to change Dipweed. Now, usually, if someone has a username Dipweed, they almost always want to change it to something even worse, like Stank Head or something, you know. But he wants to change it to DP. So he's going to take Dipweed and change it to DP.
DPW, y'all.
Just want to share that with you.
Nice.
That poor guy. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, you know, when he chose that name, it meant something to him.
It really did. It was his feelings about life. Now they're condensed into an acronym.
Dipweed. That's it.
There's some funny names on there.
Jason, what do you got there?
Yeah, it looks like Jason has.
Yeah. So you guys know me and my love affair with DLGs, right? So this is
pretty intimate, yeah.
This is a 1 meter. So this is a small mini DLG.
Oh, that's cute.
So sexy.
And you know, there's very few of these that were really any good. Most of the smaller DLGs were like foam and didn't launch very high or fly very well. But this is basically a mini version of the full-size ones, and it's down to the construction and performance. So it's all carbon. It's really nice, but it doesn't carry over in the price. So where my Snipe is $800 to $1,000 airframe, this is only like $300 and something.
Oh boy!
And it takes like $5 servo.
Not bad.
That's awesome.
So it's really cheap, and it performs. It's not, you know, it's not going to keep up with my 1.5 meter Snipe, but it's awful close. Like, it launches high and it hangs in the air a long time, and it feels really good.
Someone wrote, "Shame to take it away from its mother."
I think if you name this, you should name it El Borracho, because it's got that red nose. El Borracho is drunk.
So anyway, I'm about to go out this evening and do some more flying with this thing, because it's a nice day out. And just another way to, if you guys were thinking about getting into DLGs and didn't want to pay $1,000 or more for a really nice one, you can pay a few $100s and get a really nice one and have fun with it. I
bet it crashes better too, since it's not so big.
Yeah, it's lighter. I mean, It's just really cool. I'm excited about it. So
Just don't rip the peg off like you did the other one.
now this peg is a little bit different. It's, I don't know if you can see it. It's glued in line. It doesn't insert into the wing from the edge like my other one did.
Yep.
It'd be really hard to rip that one off, but yeah,
You'll find a way.
fun stuff. I love it.
My first DLG, I was out and it was summertime, and I was like, I'm really going to throw it hard on this next launch. I was killing myself all summer. And I go, you know, I got the, and then when I came around, the elevator hooked up on my strap or my elbow or something. And so as soon as I launched it, it went 70 miles an hour straight into packed dirt, and it went in like an arrow. It even made the sound. Ding, and the tail whipped so violently it snapped in half. So, things that can happen.
The sound effects.
Let's hear it, Tim. Let's hear your whip sound effect.
There.
Oh,
All right,
that's
enough.
good. Jason.
All right. I've been practicing.
Oh, that was the lamest. Oh my
That was
God,
weak.
Jason, you are fired.
Jason, can you do a machine gun sound effect?
No.
Matt Gunn, how about a 10, A10? There you go.
That's my
I do
best.
like a V8 car, like speeding away.
Let's hear that.
Yeah, that is such a Kawasaki KX1000 or what's up. It's not a V8. You got to go.
I call that a boat. That sounds like more like a boat motor to me. Tim, do you have any sound effects that you're really good at?
Sorry, guys.
I got one. I'll do my best sound effect, and I'll try not to hurt anyone.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, here we go.
I actually have responses from the animal that I'm about. I've done it to a bull and had him talk back to me. That's my best sound effect.
What is happening?
That's a word. That's a word in cow. I don't know what it means.
And we're not hemorrhaging viewers. We're actually gaining them.
Well, everyone we're
People watch anything.
Yeah.
people do come up to me at shows and say, Jim, I just want you to know I like it when you go off topic. So they feel compelled to let me know. We're at the top of the hour. Once again, I can't believe we filled a whole hour by just talking. Tim, what do you need to tell everyone about ReadyMadeRC before we get out of here?
What do I need to? Well, you know, we're awesome. I don't know.
It's okay.
No,
you can toot your horn.
Toot my horn. Well, you know, I hope everyone knows that you know, we're in this because we enjoy the hobby and because we are, you know, use that good old phrase, we're enthusiasts. You know, we really want this to be around for a long time. So we're not looking for the quick buck and just to get in and out. You know, I plan on being here in 20 years plus, still doing this same thing and trying to come up with a new, whatever the latest cool RC and FPV and, you know, space launch, whatever we're going to be doing in 20 years, you know, and realize that our goal is to make sure you are happy with your purchase and that you get good quality stuff, that it's a price that's competitive. So, you know, just, and if we're doing it right, let us know. And if we're not doing it right, let us know too. And we're going to keep on pushing and making sure that we're making everyone happy and hopefully keeping some cool stuff available so that we can have a little bit of fun, because really that's why I'm here. And I think that's why most of us are here.
Cue the fireworks.
Amen, brother.
Everything we've talked about, you can go to ReadyMadeRC.com, and on the very front page, every product we've discussed, except maybe the air hanger, is right here on the top of the page. So you can,
Hanger might be. If not, I can click that and make that turn back on there. But yeah, it's all there. And you know, again, keep an eye out for more cool stuff. We're always working on cool stuff. So
Rock on.
Matt Gunn, what are you doing next? You got a little something to fly, or are you out of your?
I'm literally going to Flight Fest tomorrow, and I'm going to pick up a couple of Pagoda antennas for my Connex. And I'm going to do a little reporting, get some videos. I'm wearing my muck boots because it's flooded out there really badly. And that's all I've got on the table right now.
Hey, I want to request something of you and say something to our listeners and viewers. Alex, Josh, Austin Fury, all of us spent a great deal of time together at Horizon a month or so ago. We ate dinners together. We were at the field together. We walked around and did our jobs together. And it's the most time I've ever spent with those guys. What a quality group of people who are just like Tim, in it for the hobby. And it just happens to overflow into what we do. It's exactly what we do. And so if you see them, please be sure to tell them that I'm thinking of them and that I said, hey, great guys, flight test.
I can do that. Yeah. Cool, man.
Jason Cole?
I'm going to go fly a DLG.
Yeah, your name says it.
Go fly DLG. There you go.
Well, thank you guys for joining us. Especially thank all of our live viewers who always say, where are you? Why aren't you live this week? And then all the people that watch us after we're live, which is a much more larger number. And Tim, thank you for taking time out of your workday and hanging out with us for a full hour.
No problem. No problem. Nice chatting with you guys.
All right, everybody. RC Groups, you've been hanging out with us live. Be sure to join us. We're trying to do it every Thursday at 2 o'clock. Again, we took a hiatus, but we were like, that's not cool. So we're back, and we're doing.
It was completely unnecessary, that hiatus. We're back every week, Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern time.
Yes, and if you want to know where I got my sunglasses, just shoot me an email.
All right, boys.
Bye. RC Groups. All right, catch y'all later.
Shut her down. Goblin gaggle.
Goblin gaggle.
3, 2, 1. Simmer down now.
Conference call.